Dauravaram Navahasyakaram Navaram Karnamami Sukha Dauravaram Karnamami Sukha Dauravaram Karnamami Sukha Dauravaram Pranamami Sukha Gauravanam Pranamami Sukha Gauravaram Navapremarutam Navanitasutam Navaveshakritam Navapremarasam Navapremayutam Navanitasutam Naveshakritam Navatam Navatavilasya Shubhamayam Pranamami Kachi Sutta Dauravaram Navatavilasya Shubhamayam Pranamami Kachi Sutta Dauravaram Pranamami Kachi Sutta Gauravaram Kachi Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Kachi Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Kachi Sutta Gauravaram Hari Bhakti Karam Hari Namakaram Sarajapyakaram Hari Namakaram Bhakti Karam Hari Namakaram Sarajapyakaram Hari Namakaram Nayane Sakaram Pranamastudvaram Pranamami Kachi Sutta Gauravaram Nayane Sakaram Pranamastudvaram Pranamami Kachi Sutta Gauravaram Satatam Janata Bhavatapaharam Paramattha Parayana Lokagatim Satatam Janata Bhavatapaharam Paramattha Parayana Lokagatim Navadeh Navatapaharam Sanamami Kachi Sutta Gauravaram Navarenaparam Jagatapaharam Sanamami Kachi Sutta Gauravaram Sanamami Kachi Sutta Gauravaram Sanamami Kachi Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Kachi Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Kachi Sutta Gauravaram Nija Bhastikaram Priya Charukaram Natanatanadaranajakulam Nija Bhastikaram Priya Charukaram Natanatanadaranajakulam Pranamami Kachi Sutta Gauravaram 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 Paratalavaram Talapataravam Mruduvasya Subhikaya Mahapuram Paratalavaram Talapataravam Mruduvasya Gauravaram pranamami sachitu Gauravaram pranamami sachitu Gauravaram pranamami sachitu Gauravaram pranamami sachitu Yugadharmayutam Puranandaputam Dharani Suchitram Bhavabhavatikam Dharmayutam Puranandaputam Dharani Suchitram Bhavabhavatikam Tanutarajitam Nijam Sayutam Sananami Sati Sutta Gauravaram Sarupyanantikam Nitavam Sayutam Sananami Sati Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Sati Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Sati Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Sati Sutta Gauravaram Pranamami Sati Sutta Arunam Nayanam Sharanam Vasanam Ekalitam Swakanamasaram Arunam Nayanam Sharanam Vasanam Ekalitam Swakanamasaram Purute Puratam Sagadatiranam Saramami Sati Sita Gauravaram Purute Puratam Gauravaram Pranamami Sati Sutta 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 Gauravaram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare नाम संकीर्तन की शील प्रभुपाद की
Hare Krishna. One more time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Rama Rama.
Rama Rama.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for joining here. So really on this occasion, we are celebrating Gaura Pournima. As I just mentioned, it's a birthday of appearance day. We are called it as appearance day because any saintly person we are taking birth, we just call it as appearance day. He has just appeared. So it's the appearance day of Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and other items we have Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So today is the birthday we are celebrating of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we have with us today Subhara His Grace Subhara Prabhuji, and also Mother Nirvama Mataji we have. So just quick introduction I'll give you. So Subhara Prabhu is actually, he's in this preaching mission for the last 6 years. And he has been inspiring so many families. He has been preaching Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and he has also inspired so many people, not only here in Andhra Pradesh. He has done so many social activities, and Bhagavad Gita and Odisha award. So a lot of tribal villages are getting, Bhagavad Gita, knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. He's inspiring so many thousands of families, I would say. And by profession, he is the country head for Aztec International. It's a multinational company, and he has, done his masters in MBA, and he worked in US for almost more than 10 years, and he has come back, and he has joined ISKCON last 6-7 years, and inspired by the preachings of His Holiness Radhanath Swami and his Guru Parampara. We have been in the mission of preaching. So let's welcome Subhara Prabhu with 3 loud enthusiastic Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Let's start with prayer, Sama. Thank you so much, Sachadev Prabhu and Srivali Mataji, Balgavan Prabhuji, Lilan Prabhuji, for giving me this try to speak a little bit about Mahaprabhu. So we'll start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Rave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tata Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavasham Shri Rupam Sagrajatam सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं हरिजनासहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदां सहगणा श्री विशाखान्वितं हे कृष्णा करुणा दीनबंधुके गोपिका गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते कांचना राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। अष्टप्रायेषु भागवत सेवया भागवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो कृष्ण प्रेम प्रधायते कृष्णाय चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरकिशे नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजाङ्गे। नमो ब्राह्मण्याय देवाय गो ब्राह्मणाय हिताय च जगद्धिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतये श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। शिक्षाष्टमी चौथारम्म। Let's also read Sisthashtam prayers. Shindrodarpanamachanam bhavavanidirvāvini Sriratyaviravachandrika vitaranam vidya जीवनम् आनन्दां बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतसाधनम्
सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनम्
नामामकारी बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिः तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन कालम् एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवान् ममापि ईदृशं विजयति अनुरागम् त्रिनादपि सुनीचेना तरोरवि सहिष्णुना अमानीना आनदेना कीर्तनीया सदा न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरी कविताम्बा जगदीशकामरे ईश्वरे भवता भक्तिरहैतुकी किङ्कर पतिता मां विषमे भवामृतौ कृपया तव पाद पंकज स्थित धूलि सदृशं विचिन्तया नैर्मङ्गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदहृदाय गिरा पुलकैर्निचितं बहु कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायितं ईशेन चक्षुषा प्रौढशायितं शून्यायितं जगत् सर्वं गोविन्दविरचितं आश्लिष्य वा पादरतुं पिनास्तु माम् आदर्शनामर्महतं करोतु माम् यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनादस्तु सेवनापः हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे How are you? How is everybody? It's Sunday evening. Thank you so much for coming. So I'm assuming most of you come regularly here, right, Mataji? Every Sunday they have the satsang here. Not, sorry, Amma? Not. This is the occasion, so most people have come for the first time here. How many of you are coming for the first time? Oh, okay. So how many of you don't understand Telugu at all? Oh. So most of you understand Telugu, so we can speak. Or how many of you don't understand Telugu? English Abdan Khan vaadu entamandi unnaramma? English Abdan mix of English and Telugu, because I am used to speaking mostly in Telugu. So whether you ask for it or you like it or not, mostly it will move into Telugu.
Let it be little slow.
Let it be little slow. In general. Okay. So most of my whenever I'm trying to learn something or teach something, I try to make it interactive, because and then trying to trying to think of something. So again, well, first let me go and Srivali Mataji. So Mataji has been doing here Bhagavatam classes, right, Mataji? So you have done 1 canto, 2 cantos. First canto, first two chapters of this. So they have, so some of them have understanding of Bhagavatam, and you have done SSR course. Yes, SSR course is complete. Bhagavad Gita is also complete, right? Most of you. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not new. Bottom line, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not new, right? Is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu new to some people here? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not new, right? So where did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu born, or where did he take his incarnation? Navadvip, Mayapur, right? Some of you have gone there. Girls have just come back from Mayapur, right? So how many of you have been to Mayapur? Good. So that's where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took his incarnation. He took his birth. So we sang the Kirtan, Sachi Sudashtakam. Sachi Devi is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mother, basically, right? That's the Ashtakam we sang. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, almost 500-600 years ago, he took birth in Mayapur, but he traveled most of the South India. He traveled all the way to the south, and it's an honor that now, at least now, they put Chaitanya Mahaprabhu DT in the new Parliament building, which was not there earlier. At least now, at least they recognize that and they put Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what it means is, in the Parliament they try to put a period of history, and they consider there is a lot of historical importance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in devotional service. That's the reason why we sang Sikshashtakam prayers, the 8 prayers basically that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given to this world. So we'll talk a little bit about incarnation. We don't know how many avatars did God take. Sorry, 10 avatars. Somebody said innumerable. You said 10. Innumerable avatars. God has taken innumerable avatars, and those avatars are counted into 6 different categories. So you must have seen those categories, right? Purusha avataras, Guna avatara, Leela avatara, Manvantra avatara, Yuga avataras, and Satyavesa avatara. So these are different. One is innumerable avatar, and they're broadly categorized into 6 categories basically. So you can just looking at the names, you know what that is. Purusha avataras, the 3 Mahavishnus come under Purusha avataras. So there's a lot of, first timer, they'll have this confusion. Why is Vishnu an avatar of Krishna? Krishna is the supreme personality of the Godhead. So if there is a little bit of confusion there, let's go for tonight saying we accept the supreme personality of Godhead because Krishna has said it in Bhagavad Gita. I am the supreme personality. I am the all in all. So that's the basic source of this thing to consider Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. And it's important to understand that aspect. And Bhagavatam also clearly said it in a lot of places how that whole Bhagavatam is, right? History of Telangana, history of Andhra Pradesh, history of India, and history of Earth, and something like that. Bhagavatam is nothing but history of the Brahmanda. You can consider it as the history of Brahmanda. For science students that are more in the science students, social students, you can consider Bhagavatam as simply as you can take it as to some extent as history of Brahmanda. And when you look at it, the way the whole thing unfolds, there it all explains very clearly. Step by step, the universe was created, and how life has come in, and the purpose of life. At the end of it, it just not explains you why it has come. It also explains you how it has to behave, how the life has to behave, and how the purpose of life, and how it should, the ultimate way of ending it, basically. Right? Most of us know what birth and death are, but most of us don't know how to spend the time from birth to death, B to D, basically. That the middle period is the most confusing period. Each one has their own philosophy about it. Each one have their own interest on how they should spend their life, basically. And Bhagavad Gita actually explains how each of those steps should be done in 3 different ways, like, in terms of Sankhya Yoga, or in terms of Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Dhyana, in different aspects. It explains the purpose of life, basically. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is here in the same context. So there are three Purusha avatars and then three Guna avatars. Guna means Triguna Tattva. The three Guna, Sattva-guna, Rajo-guna, Tamo-guna. The avatars based on the Guna or Guna avatars. And then Leela avatars. The Leela avatars are avatars with a purpose, basically, with a specific purpose. Like Kurma avataram has come for a specific purpose. Sorry, has come for a specific. Avataram has come for a specific purpose. These are all Leela avatars. Then Manvantra avatars. These are all avatars. One Manvantra they happen basically. Then Yuga avatars. Yuga avatars, see, Leela avatar has a specific purpose. Manvantra is period of time again. Then Manvantra is one subset of Yuga. One Yuga has 14 Manvantras, and we are in the 7 Manvantra at this point. Then Yuga avatara. So, which means they happen only once in a Yuga. They happen only once in a Yuga. The Manvantras are smaller, but Yugas are even or it's the other way. Manvantras are the bigger set, and each Manvantra has 4 Yugas. So you have Satya Yugam, Treta Yugam, Dwapara Yugam, Kali Yugam, right? So in each Yuga, this purpose again. And this he comes only once in a Yuga. That's why it's called Yuga Avatar. Right? And Satya Yuga, Leela avatars are independent. They can happen at any point of time. They can happen at any point of time, basically. That way, in Kali Yuga, Lord Krishna in a Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu avatar, basically. And then we'll see that. We'll talk a little bit about the purpose of it and so on and so forth. Again, specific purpose, basically. Okay, they're again categorized into different purposes, basically. That means in Satyavaya avatar, it is more the energy that speaks, the Shakti of one specific Shakti that speaks. Leela avatar is a purpose, Shakti avatar is more an energy form, basically, one particular function they perform, basically, right? Where, as Mataji said, there are innumerable like bullets flowing from inexhaustible source of water, basically. So, in how many droplets are there like that? There are numerous avatars of the Lord, basically. And again, we'll talk a little bit about the purpose of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's visit to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu incarnation to earth, basically. Then we'll talk a little bit of Narasimhadeva avatar, right? So, as we said, what did we call Narasimhadeva? Lord has come in Narasimhadeva avatar, right? So some people, you all understand Narasimha avatar, right? Why did Narasimha Swami come? To protect Prahlad, right? And how did he come? He came from one of, but he came from one of such pillars, basically, right? Right? You all have seen the movie Prahlad? No? All right. So then Narasimha Swami, Lord Krishna came in the form of Narasimha Swami. And you don't have a lot of story of Narasimha Swami, right? You don't have like the childhood of Narasimha Swami, or how did he spend his as a little kid? Was he born to a mother? Was he born to this? All that things we don't have. This comes with a specific purpose, basically. He came from a pillar because he came. Why did he come from a pillar? We can step Prahlad from just walking through the door. Sorry, Amma. He is everywhere, but why did he choose to come in a pillar? He broke it? I don't understand. Hiranyakashipu. Why did he break? One of his? Whose enemies? Hiranyakashipu's enemy. Right, okay. Right. Prahlad says he's everywhere. If Prahlad says he's everywhere, then Hiranyakashipu challenges him. If you say everywhere, do you think he's also in this pillar? No? So Hiranyakashipu actually asks, do you think he's here? 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 And he finally shows, do you think he's in the pillar? Lord is just waiting. Where will Hiranyakashipu's hand stop? If it stops in a chair, he has to come out of the chair. If it stops somewhere, he has to come out of that, basically. But why is he so eager? He's so eager to protect Prahlad. He's been protecting Prahlad every minute of Prahlad's life. Prahlad stood pretty strong that the purpose of life is just to do Harinam. That's the conviction Prahlad, so that even Hiranyakashipu could not say, like, get rid of that Harinam from Prahlad. And see, there are two, three things we should observe in this. God, how much eager he is there, with how much curiosity is there, his devotee. Right? See, God saves his devotee when the devotee is suffering. He has to come, basically. He has to come and protect him. Until then, God was okay, but Prahlad, God doesn't bother, even if you are not liking God, even if you are scolding one of God's devotee, he can't bother. And he came in such furious form, that Narasimha Swami form. Because again, then there's a Hiranyakashipu story, but that Hiranyakashipu got so many wounds. What kind of wounds did he get? Conditions, so many conditions. Day or night, we cannot be killed. Huh? Not inside, not outside, not during the day, not during the night, not from an animal, not from a human being. No weapon, and he cannot be killed in any day of the calendar. Did you know that? He cannot be killed in any day of the calendar. Then that's the reason why Adhik Maas has to come. That's the reason why God has to create Adhik Maas, and he was killed in Adhik Maas only. God has come in Adhik Maas to kill Hiranyakashipu. See, bottom line is, you can have any number of insurances. Right? This is what God does. Right? He does, no insurance can protect. Why forget insurance? Why forget insurances? We also take all these. We also precautions that we don't want to be killed in the night. We don't want to be killed in the light. We don't want to be killed by that. We don't want to be killed by this. That's the reason why we are using. We are trying to not to be killed by high blood pressure. And the doctors has given us the boon. In the form of boon, they say, the avatars give us boon, has given to Hiranyakashipu boon in different forms. And we are also taking such boons by one or other. In those days they got it with tapas. These days we are able to consult a specialist, a doctor who has got that energy or that specialization by a mercy of a Devata, and he's able to make that judgment on your body and be able to tell, I can protect by high blood pressure. And is giving you a boon. Right? We're doing that. We're actually doing what Hiranyakashipu is doing. In all honesty. We're also trying to buy insurances from different aspects. So, what we're doing is right or wrong? So, vaccines. Are all insurances. I come from vaccine industry. Vaccines are all insurances that we take. But the difference is, even Prahlad also got insurances. Yeah, but the insurances between Hiranyakashipu and Prahlada, you can take insurances, there's no doubt, from the avatars. But what will happen is, when you take and if you do not devote yourself in devotional service, then you are more like Hiranyakashipu. You getting the point? See, every day you're getting a boon, basically. Every day you're taking a small BP tablet is nothing but a form of a boon, basically, that is extending your lifespan. And if that is not using the service of God, that is not using the service of God, you're simply misusing. And that God doesn't do. You see what I'm saying? We are living with the mercy of Lord. People will ask, how can you show me I'm living at the mercy of Lord? We are living by the mercy of Lord every single minute. If we do not recognize that, that's Hiranyakashipu's life. That is what demon's life versus Devata's. That is what gives you a qualification to become a Devata or a demon. You get the point? Anyway, so we got deviated, but this is Lord's appearance as Narsimhadev. So then in Hiranyakashipu nicely sits on Lord's lap, and then Hiranyakashipu is very angry. The anger continues. Narsimhadev is very angry even after killing Hiranyakashipu, and nobody can calm him down, pacify him, and then all the devatas push again. Here Prahlad only, please go pacify him, and then Prahlad does prayers again to pacify Hiranyakashipu. If you see in Mayapur also, you have little Prahlad sitting right on the lap of Hiranyakashipu. So somewhere God thinks when a devotee is sitting in the lap, he has seen devotees, he has played with devotees, he has given boons to devotees, but never a devotee came and sat in his lap, basically. You have not seen any of the stories where you don't see people going and sitting on his shoulders, sitting on his lap, sitting on his head, or anywhere else. Then God, he felt so pacified, though so much of Ugra Narsimha has become like more parent now. Wants to enjoy that little bit of feeling of sitting in the lap and that human relationship. Then he becomes Sri Rama. He now wants to play with Kausalya, Kaikeyi, Dasaratha as Balarama. That's how God chose to become Sri Rama, just to play with that human relationship. You see what I'm saying? So every avatar of God has a specific purpose and also a specific desire that the God himself has, that he wants to show as an example to the humankind. Right? You will see a lot of things in Ramayana, but you don't see playful nature of Krishna in Ramayana. You do see certain Rama Leelas, Balya Leelas, but most of them are again killing, going Vishwamitra and helping Vishwamitra, killing the Rakshasas, and then getting that's the Yugam he's living in. He's living Treta Yuga. Treta Yuga is all about Yajnas, you're protecting Yajnas, and all. So if you look at so Prahlad is from Satya Yuga. Satya is all about tapas. You see Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. All these people have done tapas to get boons. You see all those Rakshasas. Again, most of the Rakshasas, they go and worship Shiva or Brahma, right? They're very easy they easily give boons, basically. They're very easy. Shiva is Bhola Shankar. Bhola Shankar means very easily you can please him. But pleasing Lord is different from pleasing Shiva. There's nothing wrong in pleasing Shiva. Once you please Shiva, Shiva will try to make sure you either become Lord's devotee or make sure Lord will take care of you. But one way or other, Lord will take care of you. Shiva devotees are taken care, basically, one way or other. But Mahavishnu devotees are taken care in a different fashion. Again, Bhagavatam explains the way Mahavishnu, Lord Sri Krishna's devotees are taken care versus other devotees. How other demigods or other Shiva's devotees are taken care. Anyway, that's a different story. And we see in Ramayana, how Rama took care of even demons, right? People that are born in the Rakshas Vamsu, like Vibhishana. The moment we ask him shelter, he takes care of you. The moment we ask him for shelter, he takes care of you. But you don't see a lot of leelas and the playful nature of Rama. Ramayana also has all the sages that lived during the Ramayana period and all the Vanaras that helped Rama. They all wanted an association with Rama. To satisfy all of them, they all become Vrindavan Vasis, and that's how in Krishna Avatara, would satisfy all those devotees. Just to satisfy all those devotees. So when Krishna had to come himself in in the Dwapar Yuga, right? Dwapar Yuga, when did Krishna come to this world? When did Krishna incarnate on this land? It's almost 5,000 years ago, right? Whenever Krishna comes, that is called Dwapar Yuga, right? So we have yugas, 4 yugas. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. It does not mean those yugas have to go in the same order, but in this particular Yuga cycle, Mahayuga cycle, they call 4 of them in one Mahayuga cycle. Then Krishna, just basic word. Va means 2, Tra means 3. Va should be second and Tre should be third. But Dwapara is third and Treta is second. Right? So Krishna has come in Dwapara Yuga, and that's Yuga is Dwapara Yuga. That's how we study it basically. So always people ask, like, Rama came first. Why should we say Hare Krishna and then Hare Rama? We should say Hare Rama versus Hare. In this particular Yuga, it happened this way. But Bhagavatam clearly explains why it has to be Krishna and Rama. Right? Anyway, so in Krishna Leelas, we see lot of stories, right? You see a lot of devotees. In Ramayana, we don't see so many God devotee stories. In Ramayana, you don't see a lot of God devotee stories. Like, who are all the devotees in Ramayana? Hanuman, Shabari, Vanara Sainyam, still Ahalya, like that. See, we are a handful of things we keep searching. But once we come to Krishnavtara, you'll start seeing lot of devotees, lot of action basically. Lot of things happen in Krishnavtara. Right from his childhood, right from days baby onwards, right from birth itself is a miraculous thing. He just appears with fully dressed in the prison basically. And he explains the Devaki was there. This is the reason why I have chosen you as my parents. See again, he then just to satisfy them, he also shows himself as a Mahavishnu at that point of time. So Krishna Avtara is all about establishing I am the Supreme Personality of God. I am here to fulfill all your needs and desires. As long as you just look at me, just turn towards me. That's all. All you have to do is just turn towards him and surrender. That's all he is looking for, right? And then you see, so all the devotees, right from Yasoda Devi, you have a lot of stories, and Brahma Vimohana Leela, Indra's this thing, Govardhan Giri story, and then stories keep on going. Then, but who is the most sacred devotee of Krishna? Gopis. So Radharani in the spiritual world, she is the eternal consort of Lord Krishna, right? And then she comes to land. When Krishna comes, he comes with all his parivar. Have you seen when an American president comes to India? Not just one person. There are convoy of aeroplanes come, not cars. Because what he eats, everything has come from there. The car, the petrol that his cars drive in India has to come from America only. They don't drive even on a petrol that is taken from Indian this thing basically. The same. You see what I'm saying? So is the whole setup moves much before he comes to set up the whole thing, the security aspects and everything has to be. Same thing for Krishna. Before he comes, the whole setup comes. The Devatas have come. People, different Gopikas have come. Different Munis that were there wanting to serve him in Rama, as Rama, they all have come as Brajavasis, Vrindavan Vasis. I'm not joking. To date, that's how life is in Vrindavan. I'm going to explain you a small example. Today in ISKCON, there is something called, Bhaktivedanta Hospital in Mumbai. So I actually visited this hospital. Next time, whenever you're going to Mumbai, this Chowpatty temple, and then the opposite to that is Bhaktivedanta Hospital. You should all visit that hospital for one or two reasons. I'll tell you something, as age progresses, or as once we become 50 plus, you go to hospital, right? For any reason. You go visit and come back. The anxiety while going is different, the anxiety while coming is different. And the coming over is what you all enjoy more than going. They say the doctor, you have to get admitted. Then that becomes even a little more anxious. If you are not strong enough, the thought comes, is this my last visit? Honestly, it comes. Once you start aging, this thought becomes stronger, honestly. You see your, I mean, you see your elders, if anybody, if you are if you are taking care of that service of taking them to the hospital, the anxiety with which they are going to hospital versus the anxiety with which they are coming out. And the spiritual life has to calm down this anxiety. Our spiritual life has to calm down specifically this anxiety, basically. That's the purpose of all these books that we sell, we read, and all that stuff. Anyway, so and then on top of it, you have to get admitted, and in the process, they'll say this is small surgery required. Okay, does it be local anesthesia or general anesthesia? If it is general anesthesia, you look around. Is this the last time you will do it? Because will I get up after this? Honestly, that anxiety comes. That's life. That's how life is, basically. So this, and then you have been to other ISKCON temples. When you go to temple, you don't feel this kind of anxiety, right? If you have been to ISKCON temple, or which temple? Is there anybody who hasn't gone there? You all been to temple. One of the functional or characteristics of ISKCON temple is, as you enter, like every other temple, you have things to wash your hands, wash your legs, but there is also big prasadam. First and foremost, you'll see a prasadam, distribution of small prasad in a cup. That's common to all these temples, basically. And then based on the timing, if bhoga is being served, they close the doors, they open the doors, and if you are outsider, you'll see what is opening, closing. That's the service. So when you enter this Bhaktivedanta hospital, first thing we saw is, even before this thing, they're distributing prasadam outside. This is a hospital, basically. As you enter the reception desk, you can hear somebody playing Mrodangam, basically. Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they're playing. Inside you find big Prabhupada deity, big Radha Krishna deities, and then there's a small altar inside. 24/7, there is a kirtan happening. Some devotees, some patients, families are coming and they're sitting there and they're participating in kirtan. And there is also reception area, there is also doctor, there is also nurse, there is everybody has a tilak. The nurse will also come, the reception also says, Hare Krishna Prabhu, how can I serve you? The doctor will also say, Hare Krishna Prabhu, how can I serve you? So then there are sections of the hospital where patients cannot come out, they take the DTs to them. Every day they take the DTs to them. So we walked in. So, and they said, you can speak to one of the patients. I'm telling you, the patient is so confident, if I die here, this is the best place to die. I'm okay to die here. I don't think I'm in a hospital. There's a temple serving hospital needs, basically. So anyway, we had a discussion with them. My point here is, we had a discussion. They were asking them, what other hospital, where other places here? So we are doing here, we are doing there, we are doing. We also have a big setup in Barsana. Barsana is where Radha Devi was. So there is, what kind of setup you have in Barsana? There's a lot of cataract patients, and we do cataract. But from here locally, we go have a camps, and if there's some person needs a surgery, we bring them to hospital. But patients in Barsana, Vrindavan, where they were born, where Barsana is near to Vrindavan, where Radha Devi, they don't want to go out of the town for an operation. They tell the doctor, I was born in Barsana, and on the way to your hospital, on the treat, if I die, or will you be responsible? Because I want to die in Barsana only. It's okay, I'm blind. It's okay, I can't see. But I don't want to die somewhere else. I'm okay not seeing, sir, but I'll die in Barsana. I don't have a leg. You have to come to some outside of Barsana to fix my leg. No, I'm not coming. Who knows on the way if I die, who will be responsible? For that reason, these doctors have to. This is today. I'm not talking about Krishna's time, I'm talking about 500 years ago. This is today. That's the devotional life that they are leading, basically. So we are talking about the same insurance or vaccine. They don't care. The vaccine is rather, and yeah, that's all. The temple is vaccine center for me. The prashadam is my tablet. Okay, as long as I'm dying in bus. That's Radharani is the most devotional person of Krishna. She's the greatest devotee of Krishna, and Vrindavan, Vrindavan Rani, basically. She rules Vrindavan. So the other side of Vrindavan, Lakshmi Devi waits to get permission to go to Vrindavan. Krishna has to take permission to enter Vrindavan because she is the queen of Vrindavan. You see what I'm saying? So Krishna was also thinking. So in the previously we saw Krishna visited Prahlad Maharaj. He wanted to become a little child and enjoy this. Similarly, now Krishna is thinking, what is this lady made of? She's showing me so much of pleasure. She's enjoying taking care of me. She's enjoying being my devotee. What is there so much in being a devotee? You see what I'm saying? Krishna is thinking like this, basically. What is she made of? What is there so much in serving somebody? What is there so much in enjoying that service? He wants to look at these three aspects. There are a lot of people that are serving, but that service this person is providing has been so special. Right? It's so nice. You have seen this sweet somewhere, but this enjoying it so nice because it came. First thing you'll ask is, what is this sweet made of? It is so nice, right? How did it get so much of sweetness? There are three aspects of a sweet. What is this made of? How did it get that character? And how much am I enjoying by consuming that? There are always these three aspects because getting the sweetness from some other sweet is different from the sweet. Correct. In the same way, Krishna was looking at Radharani's service and is wondering, what is this person made of? And what is this guy? She enjoying serving me, and how does it feel to serve someone? So he has come in this yuga as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with the mood of. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself in the mood of. Krishna is generally, which color is he in? Bluish, grayish, blackish, whatever, right? Sorry? Dark cloud, Radharani. So the combination of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to come in Kurukshetra. He gets the Radharani complexion, but he is Krishna himself, full of devotion in me. Get the point? So, is Bhagavan coming as a bhakta to enjoy bhakti. And he tells us these 8 aspects of Sishtashtam. He tells us this is where how bhakti has to be. Chaitanya Charitamrita is Chaitanya Charitamrita is a book of 8 volumes, 8 or 9 volumes that talks about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It has, I don't remember how many shlokas. I think there are about 6,000 shlokas. It has a lot of shlokas in Hindi, some in Bengali, some have come from Bhagavatam, some have come from Bhagavad Gita. But there are 8 shlokas that have come straight from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mouth. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so that's how he appeared in Kali Yuga, in Mayapur, in about 500-600 years ago. Again, God's responsibility is also to make sure that we go back to him. That's his fundamental responsibility. ఎట్లాగైనా మనం మళ్ళీ తిరిగి తీసుకెళ్ళిపోవాలి అన్నదే ఆయన. For that reason, for every yuga, he is given different rules. In Kali Yuga, God himself in 500 years ago, 5,000 years ago, he told in Bhagavad Gita the purpose of life, the way to lead life, how to get back to God. Everywhere he says only worship me, come to me, one way or other, basically. right? But what happened? But what happened is over a period of time, there are Vedas. Vedas also explain are meant for devotees to reach God, but over a period of time they were misused. So because in the Treta Yuga there are yajnas and sacrifices. By the time the Dwapar Yuga, the mode of prayer, reaching God is by only by worshipping, deity worship. So in the process, what happened is that people have lost the ability to do the yajna in the proper way, but they got attached themselves to the sacrifice, the animal sacrifice, and they started doing animal sacrifice left and right on the context of Vedas. To just to kill that, Buddha had to come and start ahimsa movement. So much so that Gautam Buddha said, Buddha said, if it is Vedas that are teaching you so much, keep Vedas aside for becoming ahimsa, for following a path of ahimsa. Then Vedas took the back seat. Then Shankaracharya has to come and revitalize the. He has to bring up the Vedas back into the system. The bottom line is God sends different people to take care of only one thing, to take care of us, to come back into the proper path, basically. That one thing can be in anything, basically. So Shankaracharya came back and he brought the Vedas back. But people now have taken shelter under Vedas, and then the caste system and all that things have started to come up, and the fundamental purpose of Vedas is again still not 100% met. That's when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to come and tell us, okay, even if Vedas is not the purpose of life, because in Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma is just Harinama Sankirtana. That we'll also look at a little bit about what he lasts for 17 lakhs 28,000 years, and the process of self-realization is meditation on Vishnu. That's the major things you see in such you guys. The meditation on Vishnu, and the lifespan is 1 lakh years. Average lifespan of human being is almost 1 lakh years, basically. Can you imagine? For 1 lakh years, traveling in Hyderabad traffic and all. That's such a jagah, so there's not so much traffic, and they don't know what's happening 5 miles from there, because I mean, physically they didn't have to. Not that they do. Physically they didn't have to. It's a very interesting aspect of how they could know things physically, not moving from one place to another place. Again, when we see the Atma, Paramatma aspect, there is always connection from body to body in Paramatma aspect, and people even really didn't have to travel so much. Then when you come to Treta Yuga, it is 3/4 of such Yuga where opulent sacrifices are performed. People understand mantra power. With mantra power, you can do opulent sacrifice, so much so that you can sacrifice an animal and see that how that animal is taking the next birth, and how it is becoming a human, or how it is becoming a devotee of Lord, and how it is able to serve the Lord better than an animal, basically. So the path for mukti is through sacrifices. Then once you come to Dwapar Yuga, it's half of such a yuga, where the life expectancy is about 1,000 years. The beginning of Dwapar Yuga is 1,000. By the end of Dwapar Yuga, it has come down. If you look at Mahabharata stories and all, Krishna span, or Arjuna span, Bhishma span, they all have come down to hundreds, basically. Right? In Dwapar Yuga, it's all deity worship. And whatever deity worship we have, it's coming from Dwapar Yuga period, basically. Then Kali Yuga, the lifespan goes for 432,000 years. 432,000 years, basically. So we are still at the very beginning, 5,000 years, just around the beginning, basically. We already can feel the pinch of how Kali Yuga is, basically, right? Yes. If you read Bhagavatam, you'll understand how worse future can be, because it's all written in Bhagavatam. Because I know people here from little bit like, like me, who are like 50 plus or someone, can easily understand. People had never had to buy water, actually. 40 years ago, people had never had to buy water. If you are feeling thirsty, you could just knock any door and ask for water and you can give this to give. Today, if you go and knock your door for water, they'll suspect you. If they don't suspect, you have to suspect with what they gave you is a problem. That is how life has become. That is how life has become. If 40 years ago, if somebody told me you will one day have to buy water, I would have really felt it. I would have slapped him even maybe. Right? I mean, you would not think, you would not imagine that you have to buy water. Like 10 years ago, if people said you will have to buy air one time, you will not, you will say the same. But today, if somebody says you will have to buy air, probably it is right. Through COVID, we all purchased air. Most of us purchased air machines also, oxygen concentrators and everything basically, right? This is so, and we know Indians, you read Bhagavad Gita or not, you believe in reincarnation, basically. I mean, rebirth, we all believe in rebirth, basically. So if we do not take the correct action, correct path now, you are going to be born again. You are going to be born again to have that correction, see how that Kali Yuga is going to be. But again, bottom line is, will you be born in as a human being or not is a different story. That's something we'll also be very careful in what we are choosing our path as. When I was growing up, when I was hearing to like Gatasal Bhagavad, I was thinking in that he very clearly, he says, very easily he says, మరణించక తప్పదు మరణించిన వాడు జన్మించక తప్పదు అని అనివారణమైన దానికి చింతించడం ఎలా. I was listening as 10-year kid. I always said, what is big deal? Yes, Gatsala said it very nice. Bhagavad Gita is saying, if you die, you'll born. If not in Hyderabad, Secunderabad, if not Secunderabad, Warangal, basically. That's what my thinking was. But that's not true. That's not true. You could still be born in Hyderabad, but will you be born as a human being or not is the question, basically. Right? Right? And here, God gives us so much of freedom that you can do whatever you want. You can become whatever you want. You can desire whatever you want. And God is here to fulfill all those desires based on two aspects. Your desire is filled up, your future is written in two aspects. Every desire will be fulfilled on based on your desire and desirability. You ask for, He give you based on your desirability. Right? You ask for a wonderful villa, God will give you. Based on your desirability, either you become owner or a driver or a cockroach or something else in the villa, but you'll get the villa. But you'll enjoy the villa. If you become a cockroach or a lizard, you don't even have to pay EMI, but you'll enjoy the villa. But the villa, he'll take care because you asked for it. Be very careful. If you don't desire, if you don't have what do you call it, make it desire, earn the desirability. Tell you one small example and then we'll move. Entire Kurukshetra was over. Dhritarashtra asks Krishna, you are the culprit. You are responsible for killing all my 100 children without anything, without a reason. Pandavas killed it and all that is nonsense. I don't think they had the capacity to kill it. You stood there and made sure all my children are dead. What did I do? What did I do? Such a crime that you have to kill all my 100 children. Do you know that? Have you heard this story? Then Krishna explains in Dhritarashtra, about 1,000 lifetimes back, you have killed about 100 eggs, bird eggs, without any compassion. So you enjoy just to that feeling that the karma comes back, and today you have to kill again 100. I mean, you have to get 100 children. Then Dhritarashtra asked, this happened about 100 years ago. I mean, thousands of lifetimes ago. Why am I have to face it now? He said, Krishna says, to get 100 children, it took you 1,000 years of good karma, 1,000 lifetimes of good karma. But the desire and desirability have to be so careful. So you desire something more than what you are, what do you call it, given by God, then He'll give it. That is like using credit card basically. You have to repay it at some time back. The EMI process basically in this lifetime or next lifetime, basically taking credit of things, good things from future. Anyway, that's not my point. So 5,000 years, we just passed about 5,000 years, and we are already seeing Kali, or the influence of Kali. And Bhagavatam says, Bhavishya Puran says, as you go into future, as you go into Kali Yuga, you actually have to sit in caves to discuss about God. Today it's almost the same thing. If I set up this whole thing somewhere in the garden, people will kill me. This is kind of a cave already. We're already inside a cave. It's a complete cave, but it's a cave. We are afraid to keep the doors open. We are afraid to keep the mics outside. How people will react to it. All the things. You're already seeing that. In future, not immediately, but after, like, maybe if we are not careful in this lifetime, maybe in 10 lifetimes, 15 lifetimes, we'll see such things. People in the house, it will be very difficult to find a vegetarian. It's very difficult to find vegetarian. If you go into outside restaurants, it's becoming difficult for a vegetarian restaurant. When I was growing up, here and there used to be non-vegetarian restaurants. Now here and there, you are struggling to find a 100% vegetarian restaurant. This is all how Kali Yuga is progressing. Today, when an elderly person is in the hospital, I'll tell you one or small examples and then move on. People are already deciding how long to keep him in the hospital. The children are already talking about what is the cost effectiveness of keeping him for long in the hospital. I'll tell you one more small example. Today with the ventilator system and all, you can almost decide when to pull the plug off. The dog in one, this happened real times, like last, pre-COVID time. There's one family, the elderly lady, and she's in the hospital, her 3 daughter-in-laws, they're outside, they were discussing this. And the doctor said, it's already been 2 weeks now, the elderly lady might not make much. So if you remove the ventilator, she might leave the body. So these people are asking, sir, so once you remove the ventilator, how long will there be time? He said, probably 4 hours, 5 hours. No, sir, then they don't pull the ventilator today, because once we take the ventilator off, all the relatives have come, will be starting to come. It's been almost 2 weeks here. We have the hair. So let's finish today, just get the hair coloring done, then tomorrow. That's the state we are in already. So they're worried to show their face to all the relatives because they haven't colored their hair in last 2 weeks. It's been almost 2 weeks now we haven't colored our hair. So let's take the decision tonight, please. After we are done with our 3 hours, we need break now to go color our hair. Today, so the Bhavishya Puran explains, so in future, people will be waiting when the elderly person might die so that you can cut, cook and eat. To that point it will go. Because even banks of Ganga will reject to grow the seeds. It's happening already. It's happening already. Most of the places, the lands have become barren. Then that will continue to grow and people will start to become, these non-vegetarians or even worse. The point here is we don't want to wait till that period. God doesn't want us to wait till that. That's the reason why he has come again in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to re-establish the Yuga Dharma of Harinama Sankirtana. Right? So, Brihad Naradiya Puranam says, Harir Nama, Namaiva Kevalam, Kalayu Nasteva, Gatir Anyata. For spiritual progress in this age of Kali, there is no alternative. There is no alternative to the holy name, the holy name of God. If you tell them 3 times, at least once you listen. That's the reason why they write. They make you to tell everything 3 times. At least once you pay little attention to listen to you. Because the attention span is so low. Today, after cell phones have come, how many phone numbers are we remembering even? It's the same thing. So just to pay attention, also, it's difficult. To sit in a class for 1 hour, 2 hours is becoming difficult. Physically, mentally also. So anyway, the Purana says, again, even in Bhagavad Gita, God says, I am of sacrifices, I am chanting of my holy. I am the Japa Yajna right? So that's the reason why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come in Kali Yuga to teach us this message. It's almost 10 to 8. How long do I have? In the 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. We'll talk a little bit about the 8 Sishtashtram slokas. Again, from Bhagavatam reference, my dear king, all the Kali is full of. There is one good quality about this says it is that simply by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can become free from all material bond and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. To visit spiritual life, the passport to spiritual life, the visa to spiritual life is simply Harinam. Right? Again, one more sloka, 2 slokas from Bhagavad. Whatever result was obtained in Satya Yuga by meditating on Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, in Dwapara Yuga by serving Lord's lotus feet, can also be obtained in Kali Yuga simply by chanting Hare Krishna Maha. And I'm not waking up. This is straight from the scriptures that we have. Right? So, again, Bhakti Yoga, we talk a little bit about Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, for Bhakti, there has to be 3 things. There has to be 3 things. First and foremost, there has to be a God, then there has to be a devotee, and there has to be a devotional process. When you look at Ramadas, Satyagaya, Annamaya, Mirabai, this is all the same thing. There is a God, then there is a devotee, and there is a devotional process. Some people, in all the examples I gave, they were all devotees by Kirtan. They praise the Lord, and then that's how they serve the Lord by praising Him. But in our case, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or the Lord Krishna himself, comes in the form of a devotee. When the God comes in the form of a devotee and tells us how devotional life has to be, then if we do not follow, there is no other person who can give us a better solution than that. Right? The teacher himself is coming as a student and telling you how to pass the exam. How to pass the exam that he has set the paper for. And if he's your classmate, how nice it is. Right? That's what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing here. Right? He is the God who has set the conditions how to pass the examination. He is coming sitting next to you and telling you, this is what you should do to pass the exam. Then do you want to listen to him or somebody else? That's where he has given us these 8 Sishtashtram prayers. Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate goal of all yoga, in the sense. The relationship with God can be established by Bhakti Yoga, or it can be done by any yoga, but ultimately it has to connect with Bhakti Yoga. Only then you get the 100% connection with God. Anyway, so it's 6 prayers, the prayers that Lord Himself has given, how to you do the Bhakti Yoga. So how many of you are here are actually chanting? 16 rounds, 8 rounds, 5 rounds, 4 rounds, 2 rounds. So it is high time. It's high time you should increase those rounds. It's high time. Yeah. It's really high time. Because you can't say, I'm still 20, I'm still 30, I'm still 40, because the next numbers might not be there in our story. When those numbers will stop, we don't know. Honestly, I mean, in a complex case, if you're following one case of person that leading this life. Problem is, we all know in our families, there is somebody who lived for 80 years, 90 years, 100 years, and we compare ourselves with them, forgetting the people that have left their bodies in 20s and 30s. Yeah, that's another biggest problem. It's not something that in these days, if I hear somebody leaving their body, the first and foremost feeling I'm getting is probably some time with him, make him chant at least a few times. Did we not give him that chance, especially Emma? Shravanam. Amma, whether you are doing Shravanam or something else, transformation has to happen. If Shravanam is doing the transformation, I'm okay. It has to start with Shravanam because something else to start with is difficult, but it cannot end with Shravanam. That's my point. It can start with Shravanam, but it cannot end with Shravanam. Because Shravanam is one of the many things that you're all doing. Transformation has to happen. Transformation. Complete transformation. What kind of transformation? The last minute of my death, I have to should be able to remember God. It's not easy task, Amma. It's not easy task. It's not easy. It's not just easy. I'll tell you one more small example. So I've been in this ISKCON this thing for about 5-6 years now. 2019, about 7. As one of the persons who got the site. Because they said we are vaccinated, we cannot close our office. I'm part of our team is part of co-vaccine team actually. So we 80% of our staff were impacted, and I'm one of the staff because we got ourselves closed or whatever it is. The first thought it came to me is why did I give? But honestly, that doesn't help. It has come now. How why it was over. I'm fagged of the COVID cycle, and then there was a call from a cancer hospital. So yours is O positive, and we need O positive platelets. So, then that first I thought some devotee is suffering for that sake, for that platelet sake, I had to go through this. That's the reason. Now it answered my question of why. Then you can think of how and all those things. That I thought, okay, now it answered my question of why. And let me go and give the platelets. Because that in those days, one person's platelets saves 4 or 5 people, basically, some doctors, patients, cancer patients also. Bottom line point here is, on the way to driving to the hospital, I was thinking, all through the process of blood taking process, I should be checked. That was my thinking, my thought process. Let it be. Then they saw the monitor screen and the screen explained. I don't know how many of you know the platelets process. Blood is taken out and blood is sent back in. It goes simultaneously. There will be 2 pipes, pipe within pipe. One pipe pulls the blood out. It takes the platelets and the rest is put back into the body. So the needle is double needle basically. It's a little fat. Anyway, so there's a pain point. So the machine explains, shows how much blood is going out, how much platelets are coming. Being in that field, my mind is totally on that. In the middle of almost 25-minute process, it shows you 20 minutes, 21 minutes. Around 25 minutes, I was thinking, I'm supposed to be chanting. What am I doing? I totally gave up my chanting. The 25 minutes are already passed. I was thinking to chant. And only 20 minutes are left. And then I started chanting. My point here is, when just blood is being sucked out, you forget God. If life is being sucked out, the pain is even harder. The pain is really harder. The Puranas explain when life is leaving the body, the pain the body experiences is 10,000 scorpions biting simultaneously. Is it that for all? No. That is directly proportional to the attachment you have for different things. My life, my wife, my son, my daughter, my bank account, my documents, my properties, my name card, my qualification, all that is taken away instantaneously. All that is set to zero instantaneously. The things that you have built 40, 50, 60, 70 years becomes zero instantaneously. Life accepting that, the soul accepting that, the body accepting that, the mind and intelligence accepting that, the ego accepting that is not. The whole preparation is just for. The whole preparation is just for. And that preparation has to go through Harinama Sankirtan, the chanting. The chanting is that preparation, is the cleansing of your mind for the day. You spend half an hour cleansing your body in the washroom, by bathing, brushing, and all that stuff. Spend time cleansing the mind and purifying. Function. There's no other alternative. There's no other alternative. So that transformation can start with Shravana, but the Kirtan, the uttering the words, the word Krishna is not different from Krishna himself. When you say that word Krishna, the Lord is sitting in your tongue. Instead of something else, the Lord is sitting on your tongue. It's a thing that you should not neglect. It's too much. Fifth round is just wishful thinking, right? That's the state we are in. People keep asking me, which are the rounds you enjoy the most? Which round do you enjoy? I tell them 17th round if I can do that. Because 16th round I'm in anxiety, will I finish or not? But you have to come out of it. You have to do it in love to the God. You have to do it with that relationship with God. Then this doesn't stop. Then this anxiety won't be there, and the chanting doesn't stop. The Shastras explain you have to be chanting 24/7, not just few hours, but definitely at least 16 rounds on the mala. The other chanting cannot be counted as your chanting, right? Then each sloka explains what each the chanting means basically. Let's go to the first sloka. We already read this. I'll read another 15-20 minutes more. So first sloka I read, then you can repeat. Cheto darpana marjanam bhava mahadhavagni nirvapanam. Can you repeat? Sreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jeevanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamruta Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam So, Lord here says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, what happens when you do chanting? There are 7 things that are happening. Param Vijay Sri Krishna Sankirtana. What are the 7 things that are happening? Cheto Darpana Marju, Bhava Mahadhavagni Nirvapana, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitarana, Vidya Vadu Jeevanam, Anandam Buddhivardhanam, Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam, Sarvatma Snapanam. These are the 7 things that are happening by doing chanting. If these things are not happening, you should question yourself why these things are not happening, basically. That's the purpose of explaining this shloka. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana, congregational chanting of Lord's holy name, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life. We'll talk about Cheto Darpana Marjana. What is Cheto Darpana Marjana means? Cheta means manas, right? Darpana Marjana. Darpana means mirror, right? It cleanses the mirror called heart. Majority of scriptures compare heart to mind to mirror. The pure mind, clean mind to mirror, basically. For 2 reasons. One, it can be clean. Mirror can be cleanable. The second thing is, once when it is clean, it's very nice. It gives you the right reflection. Then the third thing is, mind, like mirror, once it breaks, it's difficult to put it together, it also explains the sensitivity of mind basically. And that mind gets cleansed. The dust on the mind gets cleansed. What is this dust? What is this dust that they're talking about? Amma? Sorry? All the impurity. What are impurities? What are impurities? Anarthas. Again, you're using big words. I want something that I can understand. Amma? Desires, anxiety. Papam. What is papam means? It's a big again. Definition of papam is again from the perception of who is defining it. If you ask papam for a politician, the list is very small. Yes, I know. So the dust that is not letting you go closer to Krishna. Everything is papam only. Anything is papam only. If it is not helping you go closer to Krishna, that is papam. Anything that is not helping you go closer to the God, it doesn't matter how much you justify it. I'm doing it because of that. I'm doing it because of this. And in that because, if God is not there, is papa only. What is papa means? It is really buying another lifetime. Papa means just buying another lifetime, signing agreement for another lifetime. Making a deal with God, okay, give me one more lifetime, I'm ready to do this. That is papa. That is. Bhava Maha Dhavagni Nirvapanam. What kind of Dhavagni? Samsara Dhavagni. Means it's not saying you should all become, desert everything and become non-samsaris basically. That's not possible. That's not possible. But perform those duties with the right perception. That's the reason why we say, whenever you're coming to these sessions, please come as a family. When you come as a family, you can easily cross this samsara, this whole ocean of samsara very easily. Harinama, you do the chanting along with your family members. That's congregational chanting. That's the most best gift that you can give to your family and the best gift you can take from your family. If you're able to chant together as a family. You see what I'm saying? That's what samsara is meant for. The responsibility of parents is not giving property, but giving the path to God. Otherwise, you are back into the cycle of life and death, basically. Right? Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitranam. Kairava means lotus flower. Right? Chandrika Vitranam means lotus flower, how it blooms under the moonlight, basically, the heart becomes like that. Vidya Vadu Jivanam. Vadu means wife. Vidya means this knowledge will stay with you like your companion to the end. Harinama Sankirtana gets you all these benefits. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. Basically, this gives you that knowledge. Buddhi means samudra, means ocean. It gives you the knowledge as huge as an ocean. Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam. Every word is like enjoying nectar, basically. With that feeling, we should get that feeling at one point or another when we are doing chanting. And that's in your hands. That's in your hands. There's nothing else. Nobody else can take it away from you. Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So this Sarvatma Snapanam. Atma gets that transformation, basically. Sarvatma. Every soul can get the transformation just by doing Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. That's all we are asking. That's all we are desiring you to do it. In this process, we are not gaining anything. It is just for the bill. But people keep asking me, then, sir, if there's no selfish reason why are you spending so much time? I'll tell them also that honestly, there is a selfish reason also for me. Because one of the devotees takes this lesson seriously and is actually successfully able to think of Lord at his last moment, Lord sees that and blesses me and makes sure I can also think that karma will come back. That's my selfishness in all honesty. For that reason, you should tell somebody else to do the same. If somebody is actually able to transform them, it's not easy. It's not easy. One in thousands are ready to listen. Of those thousands, 1 in 1000s are ready to open the book and start reading. Of those 1 in 1000s are ready to do some chanting. Of those 1 in 1000s are going to get some transformation. Of those 1 in 1000 are actually putting their life, spending their time for this in service of God, or doing all their lively activities, life-related activities as service of God. And I want each one of these people to be one of those people. And that's purely in your hands. That's purely in our hands. That's all God wants us to do. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come just to teach us that. We go to second shloka. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shakti. Tatra arpita niyamita smaranena kala. Etadrasi tava krupa bhagavan mamapi. Buddhaivam idrisam ihajanyan anuragaha. Oh my Lord, repeat, maybe we should also repeat. Oh my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attention for them. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is attraction from them, sorry, no attraction for them. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying in his prayers what each devotee's feelings are. The God's names are so easy, so many names. There are Govinda, Krishna, Rama, Narsimha, Haigriva, any name, they are not different from God themselves. But, and you have not given us elaborate procedures. All you are saying is give 15-20 minutes of peaceful time and chant. But still I'm struggling to find attraction for it. That's the state we are in. Hey Prabhu, నీ పవిత్ర నామం ఒకటే జీవులకు సర్వ అభిష్టములను వసగలదు. కృష్ణ, గోవింద అను అనేక నామములు కలిగిన నీవు ఆ దివ్య నామములందు నీ దివ్య శక్తులన్నింటినీ నింపు ఉన్నావు. ఆ నామములను కీర్తించుటకు ఎటువంటి కఠిన నిబంధనలు లేవు. హే ప్రభు, నీ పవిత్ర నామములు కీర్తించడం ద్వారా నిన్ను సులభముగా చేరుటకు మమ్మ కరుణతో సమర్థులను కావించినను. దురదృష్టవశాత్తు ఆ నామముల పట్ల నాకు ఎట్టి ఆకర్షణీయ కలుగటలేదు. The devotee in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling this is the state of all of us, and God has given, he himself has given so simplified methods. But to Daivam idris vihajanyan anuraga, it's an unfortunate thing. I'm not getting any attraction for this. Then how will that attraction come? How will that attraction come? The first two slokas is saying how one can realize one's inability to take up this chanting, and then the third sloka explains procedure of chanting the holy. Okay, you're not getting attraction, then what you should do? In the third sloka, a little bit explains what we can do, what is the state, how we should behave ourselves to get to that kind of attraction. So we'll repeat this. Trinadapi Sunichena Taroravi Sahishtuna Amanina Manadena Itaniya Sadahari. If you have listened to any of ISKCON classes, you would listen to this shloka. Class doesn't complete without this shloka. Repeat the meaning. We will tell the meaning and you can repeat. One should chant the names of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all senses of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy names of the Lord constantly. You should make sure if you are in this state of mind while chanting. What is that state of mind? I am even lower than the straw of a grass. You know what straw of a grass means? Gaddi parka. In the lawn you have those grass, the straws of grass. When you walk on it, it doesn't care and it doesn't say anything basically. That's every people would just walk on it. We should think our life is even lower than that. It is actually at least serving people walk on it. At least we are not able to do even that, in all honesty. We cannot compare our lives to that. We have to keep ourselves lower than that. And then more tolerant than a tree. If you are able to do these two things, Namrata, more tolerant than a tree and more submissive than a straw, what kind of problems will you have? There is no room for any problem. If you are tolerant, there is no room for a problem. The problems come because we are not tolerant to things. We fix ourselves in one state of things. If it deviates a little bit, our tolerance is questioned. The first gray hair itself, we are not able to tolerate. Yes or no? Yes. That is very difficult to tolerate. The moment it will happen in everybody's life. You get your health checkup done, but there will be a day in everybody's life looking at these reports and say, why is this number not good? Not able to accept. You're not able to accept. But that's life. That happens in everybody's life. That happens in everybody's life. You take that report, sit on the in one of the chairs in Vijaya Diagnostic and you cry. You have to accept that because that's the life. So such things should only do what kind of things? It should help you understand. If I don't take care of my spiritual progress now, it's never. Even if such things don't help you take care of your spiritual progress, what can you take care of spiritual progress? When somebody says something, we identify, because you have read Bhagavad Gita, we identify that person as a human being and me as a human being, and that human being is saying, how can he say that? How can I take it? This sloka is saying, you have to be tolerant. Don't care about what he's saying. As long as being tolerant is helping you to get your relationship with God better. That's the only connect. That's the only thing. Anything that's happening has to be evaluated against one task, one goal. Your bond with Bhagavan. Your bond is with Lord. As long as that bondage is tight enough, everything else is useless. And that happens. The quality of chanting improves when these two things happen. Ranadari endu Trunamukannanu tana takkuvanidi namrata kaligi, vrukshamakanna adhikamaina orpunu koodi, ఇతరులు అగౌరవపరిచినను వారికి సమస్త గౌరవమును వసగటకు సిద్ధపడిన స్థితి ఎందు అతడు శ్రీకృష్ణ పవిత్ర నామం నిరంతరము కీర్తించడు. In that state of mind, forgive the people that are actually troubling you. For no reason you should forgive. If you're able to, if you forgive, all those things come in when you start chanting. All those things flash in your mind. It's very difficult to keep mind calm. It's not easy. It's not easy. Thousands of thoughts come. I forgot the statistics. I do those mind management sessions in colleges. We have like about 63,000 thoughts come in every minute or something like that. And out of half of them, like 70% of them are repeat thoughts. And 80% of them are useless thoughts. Even not in 5% of them will result into something useful. That's worth thinking about. So you have to be very careful. When you talk about Sankhya Yoga, we talk in depth. You all know Bhagavad Gita, so I'm probably not spending so much on Sankhya Yoga. Basically, the 24 elements of the body, right? The mind, the subtle elements and the gross elements. You all know the concept, right? Or any question there? The gross elements, listen to the subtle elements. The three subtle elements are Manasu, Buddhi, Ahankara. Mind, intelligence, and false. Right? The mind listens to the desires coming from sensory elements. The mind is saying, the tongue is saying, it's been a while I have eaten a gulab. The request has been submitted to the mind. Mind says, please go ahead. That's in the refrigerator. You know where the refrigerator is. Then legs, the instruction goes to legs, and legs start to walk. And then gulab jam comes out, the hands cooperate, and it goes into mouth. Then intelligence will question, are you sure you can eat? You're a diabetic. Mind says, it's not my problem. It's your problem. Mind simply says, it's not my problem. The Manasu simply tells the intelligence, it's your problem. That's the power of mind. It does not listen to intelligence. Mind can listen to intelligence. Mind has the habit of listening to intelligence, but it does not until you train it that way. When the instruction comes from the intelligence, then mind will tell the mouth also, please shut up. Gulab jam, if you eat, you're a diabetic. Let the tongue feel the taste of it and forget it. That's it. Right? If you do not submit it to intelligence and take decisions based on mind's desire, then the intelligence suffers. Then in the process, what happens? False ego develops. Ahankaram takes it. Okay, I can do anything. That's the state Ahankaram starts to live in. Once you start to live in that state, there is no consciousness of soul at all. When you calm down all these things, mind, intelligence, and ego, then soul will start purifying itself and start listening to God's instructions. Until then, soul only listens to mind. And mind listens to hands and legs. All the sensory elements. You see what I'm saying? What happens after? This is still not a problem because you still have insulin in the fridge, basically. The problem is, you still have the desire, but you are sick. Your legs are not cooperating anymore, but the desire is still sitting there. Hands are not cooperating. The nurse is not cooperating you to eat gulab jamun. The doctor is scolding you. The body, then the mind says, forget about these hands and legs. If this body is not cooperating, let's find another body that will cooperate. But the desire to taste the gulab jam is there. And at that point of time, it's still not submitting anything to intelligence, and mind will make those decisions. It takes a body that easily has access to gulab jam and it can be an ant. That's just as simple as that. You see what I'm saying? If you do not control these three things, mind, intelligence, and the false ego, until then you don't understand what your actual state of ego is. Then you understand your actual constitutional position, the purpose of soul. See, It's very easy to accept that I'm a body, I have a soul. Yes? Is it difficult to accept? But it's not right. That's not true. That's not true. You are the soul, you also have a body. The body is for the soul, not because you have a body, you have a soul. This is just a tiny bag. The moment the soul leaves, few minutes after that, it gets into ashes. Right? Just a different one, white bag, small bag, big bag, rotten bag, ready to rot bag. Like that, we have different bodies. That's all. That's all. There is nothing else. Unless we recognize that, we cannot get into this state of submissiveness, this state of tolerance. If you understand just this shloka, it improves your chanting ability, chanting quality. Because it's in your hands. This is purely in your hands, how you train your own manasu. And where do you get then that intelligence? That's where you have to take shelter of Shastra. Because this has come from the Lord Himself. Right? So, anyway, let's go to the next shloka. Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitamba jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishware bhautad bhakti rahait ki tvai. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. Only want your causeless devotional service. Birth after birth. Not this moment, not this month, not this year, but life after life. I want only your causeless devotional service. This is what mind should be looking for. It is nadanam, not nadam. Right? There's a lot of difference between nadanam and nadam. If you put the dirgham, it's my money. If you remove it, it's not my money. You have to be careful. The more you have desire for these things, dhanam, janam, sundarim, then kavitamba. Kavitamba means getting caught yourself in the flowery language of Vedas. Ritualistic procedures. This is what we are in today. I do the puja, so I am safe. We have caught ourselves in the ritualistic procedures without having transformed. Ritualistic procedures should help you transform. That is the end goal. But we are not, we are leaving the goal and we are just catching the process. This is what is happening. I'll tell you a small story and then we'll go on. So my principal used to tell me this story. We talk about ritualist procedures and I went to a residential school, so we were doing some procedures and all that kind of stuff. He used to say, please understand what you're doing and do. And he used to tell us a story. There is one man in a family. Every day morning he used to tie the cat. And then somebody came to their house. The cat is tied for 1 hour. Next, the guest asked him, why are you doing this? Why are you tying this cat from 10 to 11? No, that's an auspicious thing we have been doing from generations to generations. So I don't know why, but it's an auspicious thing we're doing it. So we can't let the cat out. Then this person inquired a little more, some elderly person in the neighborhood. He said, oh, probably 10 to 11, his father used to do a puja and cat was disturbing. So he used to tie the cat. Now puja is gone, tying the cat has been left out. And expecting the same result. That's what we're doing. Most of the time, that's what we are doing. We can't get ourselves caught in the procedures without transformation. And that can happen only when you can keep your mind out of riches, because dhanamu brings janamu. Once you have money, you can always have power. You can have people, right? The election season, that is very clear. The candidates, they pick who can spend money rather than because he's a winnable candidate. Right? And then once these two comes, then automatically all other crazy things happen. You can't go after satisfying your body needs. And if you're going after that, that's not going to help spiritual. So, but if you today, if you turn on a TV, is there any advertisement that's not talking about these three things? You buy this two-wheeler, everybody will appreciate you. You'll have followers. You'll attract, you apply this body lotion, cream, you'll easily attract other sex people. You follow this, you'll become a rich man. That's all. 24/7, we are being bombarded with these advertisements. Right? And it's very difficult to stay in that state. Because we talked about advertisements and we talked about mind. And I add one more small concept here and then we move. Do you know how long does an advertisement come for? 30 seconds. You know any reason why advertisement is just limited to 30 seconds? Sorry, Amma. If it is more, they'll have to pay more. That has come because of Kali Yuga. But because I went to business school, I'm telling you this. Secret marketing people, they teach in US business schools. They call it, human attention is not more than 30 seconds. You know what that attention means? What that attention means? If you see an advertisement for more than 30 seconds, your mind will submit the request to your intelligence. Is it good product or not? Before that, you have to go to the next advertisement. There will be a jean pant with holes and somebody will like that. And if they continuing showing it for another 10 seconds, you might start to think this jean pant is not useful to me. That is what they call it attention span. That is what Western world has defined as attention span. You have to cut that thought process of your sensory elements before it submits to the mind. That's what the advertisements are all about. Absolutely, that's a very good habit. Just need to, not even one day, half an hour you come back, the desire is gone. Honestly, after 30 seconds, intuitive force reduces. That they call it as, they nicely called it as attention span, but actually the intuitive force, the desire from mind. You see what I'm saying? They have to push something else after that before you realize. So advertisements also, you have 10 advertisements. So the first advertisement is expensive than the last advertisement. Because the first advertisement, statistically, it has more effectiveness because the mind is before it already went to the second advertisement and made a decision on the first advertisement. See, that's the world we are living in, and the reason why I'm saying is we are fighting against such things just to keep our mind, to win over our mind by the intelligence, win our ego by and understanding our true self. For that is what we have to be in. We have to chant in such a state that for lifetimes, I'm going to be your servant. I want to be your servant, thing like this for lifetimes. Right? Mama Janmani Ishware Bhautar Bhaktira Haitiki Tvai. For years and lifetimes, it's okay if I'm chanting for you, but I want to enjoy that. Anubhavam kavali. That's how the devotee's desire have to be, is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying to us. Right? Let's go to the next sloka. Ainanta tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam budau krupaya tava pada pankajam Stita Thuli Sadrisam Vichintaya. Probably I should not have broken it like that, but we'll sing it again, first two lines and next line. Ainantanuja kinkaram patitamam vishame bhavam budau. Krupaya tava pada pankajastita dhuli sadrisam vichintaya. O son of Maharaj Nanda,
O son of Makarasthanda,
Krishna,
Krishna,
I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow
yet somehow
or other, I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death.
birth and death.
Please pick me up
Please pick me up
from this ocean of death
from this ocean of death
and place me
and place me
as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
as one of the atoms.
This is the state of mind we should be chanting in. Right? I want to become just a sand particle at the lotus feet, at the God's lotus. That's the greatest service I can do. That's the service I want to do. Please, please bless me with that kind of service. God, based on your desire and desirability. If at least you should have the desire. Then the desirability aspect also he takes care. As far as it is service to him. Right? ఓ నందనందన శ్రీకృష్ణ నేను నీ నిత్య సేవకుడనైనను ఏదో ఒక కారణము చేత జన్మ మృత్యు సాగరమును పడితిని కనుక ఈ భవసాగరమును నుంచి ఉద్ధరించి నీ పాద పద్మముల చెంత ఒక రేణువుగా నిలుపుకొనుము. All I want is to come back to you as a sand dust of a sand particle. That's all I care. Please let me be there by chanting your name. So Shloka 5 explains us the soul's original spiritual identity. This is my original state, but because of my desire, I have fallen down. These 8 shlokas are explained for days. I'm trying to keep, because of time's constraint, because you've been introduced to these shlokas, I'm trying to keep it very low. And maybe some other time when there's opportunity, we can further on this. Then the Shloka 6 explains how one experienced the good fortune of coming closer to the Lord. How one can experience the good fortune of coming to the Lord. Can I read 2 lines? Nainam galad asrudharaya vatanam gadgada rudayikiram. पुलकैर्निचितं वपुः कदा तव नामग्रहणे भविष्यति. Oh my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love, flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? So if we are doing chanting, these 3 things should happen. You should cry with the love, with Ananda Bashpa love. భగవంతుని ఇట్లా నామస్మరణ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు కళ్ళు వచ్చి ఆనంద వర్షాలు రావాలి. నీ నామం ఉచ్చరించినప్పుడు నా కన్నులు నిరంతరము స్రవించు ప్రేమ బాష్పాలు చేయి ఎప్పుడు అలంకరింపబడతాయి అయ్యా. ఎప్పుడు వస్తుంది నాకు అంతటి భక్తి భావన? నీ నామం పలికినంతనే ఎన్నడు నా గళము గద్గదమై శరీరం రోమాంచకమగును. We have to, our throat has to be choked up because of the intensity with which we are chanting this name. So, and our hair, so because of that relation with God, it will stand out basically, is what he's saying. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. In this state, we should chant. I'll tell you one small example here and I'll move. So recently, I had an opportunity to spend some time with the Gaura Prabhu. Some of you heard his name. Basically, he's written some of the books. There are a lot of such his books in there. So Gaura Prabhu is one of people. He's very senior brahmachari. They normally don't eat anything that's heavily tasted, heavy sweet, heavy hot, heavy spice, nothing like that. So when they come, we serve them with 3-4 items so that at least they find the correct taste to 1 or 2 items. So maybe he put some chutney or something that was very spicy. And tears came out of his eyes. Yes. Tears actually rolled out of his eyes. Today, while chanting, tears did not come. God is reminding me now. That's the state of mind there. That's the state of mind. Krishna reminded me today my chanting, tears did not come. And he quoted this shloka. After that we moved on, but that state of mind in which those people stay, basically. Right? That's the state, and it's not out of our hands to get to that kind of mindset, to get to that kind of transformation, and to enjoy that kind of. It's not impossible. It's not undoable. It's purely in our hands, basically. Right? Let's get to the seventh shloka. युगायितं निमिषेण चक्षुषा प्रवशायितं शून्यायितं जगत् सर्वं गोविन्द विरहणे मे Oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a movement to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain. And I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. That's the craving one should have. And when you read Bhagavatam, in Gopi Gita, you see Gopikas going through that kind of feeling, basically. The separation, love in separation. We all experience in real world, we experience when you are separated from your loved ones, basically, that love in separation. You feel for them more, and when you meet them, you actually express your love even greater, especially if your children are gone far off places for studying, or your spouses have gone off for a long period of time, then you feel that separation. That kind of separation has to be felt. The genuine separation has to be felt. When will the genuine separation will be felt? When there is genuine love, then you feel genuine separation. I mean, you find that love even stronger in genuine separation. Otherwise, you don't. So first you should develop that love for God, so much so that, you have to feel sad that the 16 rounds are over. You have to keep the chanting bag aside because some other duty is calling you. That's the separation has to crave in, basically. That has to come from inside. You have to get to that state of mind. Again, not impossible. Why is not impossible? It's not because you think you can train your mind, but because we all lived in that state at one point of time. Before our mind became conditioned mind. And it's not listening to the God's instruction anymore. Because of our little bit of freedom that we had, we went from one point to another point, basically. Right? ఓ గోవింద నీ వియోగమును అనుభవించుచు ప్రతి నిమిషం ఒక యోగముగా నేను భావించుచున్నాను. వర్షధారల వరే కనుల నుంచి నీరు స్రవించుచున్నది. నీ విరహముతో నాకు జగమంతయు శూన్యముగా తోచుచున్నది. That's the mind a devotee should be when you are not able to chant for any reason. Mood of separation after one obtain the required spiritual elevation is what the Sloka 7 explains. And Sloka 7 explains how to obtain the highest perfection in the matter of finding one's absolute necessity of goal, basically. The final goal Bhagavan is explaining here. Aslishyava padaratum pinastu mam Darshanan marmahatam karotu va Yadha tadha va vidadhatu lampato Mat prananadastu sayevana para I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain. So even
So even
if he handles me roughly
if he handles me roughly
by his embrace,
by his embrace,
or makes me
or makes me
broken-hearted
broken-hearted
by not being present before me,
by not being present before
is
me,
completely free to do
he is completely free to do
anything and everything.
anything and everything.
For he is always
For he is always
my worshipful Lord
merciful Lord,
unconditionally. Aslishva padaratam pinastamanu adarsanan marmahatam karotuva. It's not adarsana, adarsana. Darshananka opposite to adarsana. He's not giving me darshan, it is adarshan. Whether he embraces me with his mercy or if he does not, also my love for him cannot change. Because it is his freedom. That is, he is choosing to give me darshan or not his darshan. It's his freedom to give me love or not. But my love for him or my trust for him, my relationship, my transformation cannot be disturbed because of that. That's the state of mind I want to chant. That's the state of mind I want to be. Sri Krishnude నాకు ప్రభు అన్యమైన ప్రభు నేను ఎరుగును అతడు తన దర్శాంగంలో నా ఎడ మోటిగా ప్రవర్తించినను లేక దర్శనయోగం ఒసకక హృదయమును కృంగదీసినను అతడే నాకు ప్రాణనాథుడు. నిబంధనారహితముగా అతడే సర్వదా నా ఆరాధనీయుడైన ప్రభు అయినందున దేనినైనా చేయుటకు అతడు సర్వస్వాతంత్రుడు. In fact, we observe this even in our relationships. When you love somebody so much, especially mother and child, if the child reciprocation, it doesn't matter. The mother's love is unconditional and it's one-way direction. It can still constant till the death of, till the mother's death, irrespective of the fact whether the child is reciprocating or not. We have seen that. And that's the same kind of, because again, this love is different from the love we can think of for God, but that's the closest that can be put in comparison for love of God, the conditions under which the love of God can exist, basically. It is much bigger on the scale, but that's the closest, basically, right? And that's the love under which we should be chanting Hare Krishna. With that, 8 shlokas we'll end. If you have any questions, I'll take it for a few minutes, right? Sorry, Prabhu, I think it went a little longer. So these are the 8 aspects that we discussed today about these 8 shlokas. Maybe at some point, if there is an opportunity again, we'll discuss, we'll talk about. So 3 times we'll do Hare Krishna Mahamudra.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Before I take any questions, sorry if I hurt anybody or if I said anything wrong. It's more because of my wrong understanding rather than the scriptures. Basically, please forgive me as you forgive your little children. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Any questions, no?
Anyone have?
Charles Malabon.
Thank you. So, see, right? But congregational chanting has power, much power. So, for example, you are chanting 16 rounds, and as wife and husband are chanting 16 rounds each, both get 32 rounds benefit. That's congregational chanting. If 100 of you are sitting and chanting 16 rounds, you get the benefit of 16,000 rounds. You see what I'm saying? That's the power of congregational chanting. And if you are doing that in presence of a pure soul, that's why we say chanting in temples are a lot more powerful, because there you have Bhagavan himself in the Vigraha Rupa, and that influence of chanting is a lot more purified. And if there is a senior Acharya or senior Brahmachari, which are purified souls, and when you're chanting along with them, the chanting gets a lot more purification. For that reason, congregational chanting is what you would always promote, basically. Today, we don't do a lot of congregational chanting, but anytime you have that opportunity, you should chant. If there are 5 families here, you should chant in one nice park area somewhere, and 5 of you should chant together, even 5 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds. But as it fix up like 6:15 to 6:30 in the morning and do that, it will be good. Yes. Anything?
Anybody has any other question? Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for the opportunity, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Really amazing, Prabhuji. I think the way you narrated, like taking us through different avatars and then slowly coming to why Krishna is taking the form of Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he wanted to release the how bhakti for Radharani. He wanted to enjoy that, so that's why he came in the form of Radharani and Krishna, and he wanted to propagate the bhakti movement. So that's how the Gaura Mahaprabhu. Okay, please everybody sit down now. We will have Pushpa Abhishekam. So requesting all the elders first have the Pushpabhishekam. పెద్దవాళ్ళు ఫస్ట్ పెద్దవాళ్ళందరూ వచ్చి పుష్పాభిషేకం చేయండి. అండ్ పుష్పాభిషేకం అయిపోగానే అక్కడ ప్రసాదం ఉంది, ప్రసాదం తీసుకొని అందరు తప్పకుండా అందరు ప్రసాదం తీసుకోండి. చాలా వెరీ సాంక్షియస్ ఐటమ్స్, గులాబ్ జామ్ ఉన్నది. In ISKCON we call gulab jam as bullets. ISKCON bullets.
So Prabhu, they'll be doing kirtan while Pushpabhishekam is going.
Yeah, we'll go kirtan. Hare Krishna. So everybody please, all the items, first take the Pushpabhishekam and then you can go to the prasadam, have prasadam. Okay, Hare Krishna. Let's thank Prabhuji, Subharam Prabhuji with 3 times very loud Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
पतिता देखिया पतिता भवाना नाम कृष्णा लखिया दोनगा करुणा बिना बिना जाने समो पतिता नाहि त्रिभुवानि दोनगा करुणा मकरु बिना बिना जाने समो पतिता नाहि त्रिभुवानि हरे जीवतु रूपाणि नबिता चरणातराणि तानि दशिकार परिचीभवतु रूपाणि नबिता चरणातराणि तानि Doranga karuna vina vina jani Osamo patita lagu Nadi Sri Bhuvani Doranga karuna vina vina jani Osamo patita lagu Nadi Sri Bhuvani Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dasera Nodasya Rakana Karare Sada Narata Madasa Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dasera Nodasya Rakana Karare Sada Narata Madasa Doranga Karuna Makava Dina Dina Jani Osamo Patita Lagu Nadi Bhuvani Doranga Karuna Makava Dina Dina Jani Osamo Patita Lagu Nadi Bhuvani Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Gauranga Karuna Dina Dina Dare Mosamopatita Prabhu Mahitri Bhuvani Gauranga Karuna Gora Dina Dina Dare Mosamopatita Prabhu Mahitri Bhuvani Mosamopatita Prabhu Mahitri Bhuvani Mosamopatita Prabhu Mahitri Bhuvani Mosamopatita Prabhu Mahitri Bhuvani. Namaste Naradhaya Dadaya Nyakashi Bhutakshana Shilapana Kalaye Ora Sinho Bharato Narto Yato Yato Yami Tato Narto Pare Narsinho Vidaye Narsinho Sinhavadi Sharana Pavati Apasara Pamanavadi Adhuta Shrita Sarita Hiranya Kashipu Sarvita Shavaveta Nipupa Jagati Hare Sayana Hare Saya Jagati Hare Saya Jagati Hare Harasin Hare Harasin Hare Jaya Harasin Hare Jaya Kamala 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 Jaya Kamala Kamala नरसिंहदेव भगवान की भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की हरे कृष्णा